All right, folks. So I started this little campaign for myself, I guess, to keep myself also challenged because even as a social media person, I find myself every once in a while kind of skipping out because I'm doing other people's stuff. I have a lot of other projects, client projects is what I mainly focus most of my time on. So I'm not really that much different than you guys, but it just happens to be that my craft is making the content. So I have to take a break from that to make my own. So what I decided to do was say, well, if I'm going to do that, then let me make it beneficial to other people. So I created a little side quest called Confidence in Content. And I launched it on LinkedIn because that's where a lot of professionals are. But I'm going to spread this message across all my channels. That's kind of what I want to do. And another thing in this confidence with content, I want to shoot these videos that have no edit. It's just me talking directly to the camera and getting this message to you guys today. So because I'm in, I'm prior military. I'm actually still in the military at the very moment, but because I'm military raised, put it that way. I like these systems where it deals with systems like 4Cs or acronyms and these things, because it makes it a little easier to remember. It makes it systematic. It makes it a reliable step-by-step process. So today what we're talking about is confidence in content. And I'm breaking that down into 4 separate sections. So that's confidence in your message, confidence in the camera, confidence in closing, and confidence in a CTA. These 4 things are crucial. And when I say crucial, I don't mean to build anxiety in you when you think about it, but you want to focus on building confidence in these areas because it allows you to make more content. It allows you to feel less anxious when the time comes for you to have to sit in front of a camera for a specific amount of time to make these videos for your business, right? So let's get into it. Confidence in your message. Your message is exactly what it says it is. But when you, for whatever reason, get in front of a camera, it seems like your message just disappears right out of your mind. So when you're thinking about your message, you don't want to be so stuck into the idea that you need to be like somebody that's on TV, right? I just want to close that door. You don't want to be somebody on TV. You're not a TV personality. You're not here to shoot the latest, greatest version of some business television show. You're not the Forbes business report and all these things. Don't worry about that. The things that you tell people every single day about your business is the thing that you need to be focused on telling your viewer. Your viewer is here to find out about you. Now, hopefully you put that together in a way that brings them in and has them kind of glued to the screen to figure out what it is that you have to offer. So when we think about message, we're thinking about how do we make it as easy as possible for the person that is not in business. It's about the consumer. What does the consumer care about? I always tell people when they're designing their message for content to use what Google search terms are available. Okay. Think about what your ideal customer is searching for and use the same language that they're using to, make that content happen. Because if, let's just say, for example, we're talking about, I'm trying to come up with something off the top of my head, something technical, right? If you use technical jargon, let's say you're an auto mechanic, right? And you know that somebody needs to, change out a head gasket for whatever specific purpose. If you go into saying all of these different terms that a mechanic would know, you might lose somebody. Now, mechanics is probably a bad example because a lot of people that are in the cars kind of know what the mechanic is talking about. But my point here is that when you're thinking about your message, you need to make it open and clear, less jargon about it, and let people in on what you're talking about based on the way they understand it. Okay. Some real estate agents have some terms that they talk about, and breaking it down for people in the way that they can understand allows you as well to kind of like cut back on how technical you have to be. Because the reality of the matter is, if you're trying to talk to them about this thing to help them understand, even if you're in person, you're not going to talk to them in the super technical jargon unless you're trying to teach them the actual term, right? So your message needs to be clear. It needs to be understandable by the person that has no idea until they come across you what you're talking about. So you can also become an authority for that person about that topic, that subject matter. Now, moving on to confidence in the camera. I get it. If you're using your cell phone, if you're using a regular camera, whatever the case may be, there's this little circle that you're trying to look at to try to make sure that you're talking to your audience. And I understand that that's hard. If you have to hang a picture on there or something, or draw a little smiley face on there and look directly at that, then that's what you can do. But I just say, instead of looking at like directly at the lens, you can look just above it. And there's usually a word or something on the camera that you can kind of focus in on. And you don't want to focus too hard, but it's kind of like just looking above the eye of the camera. And that allows you to create that connection. Now, your background, how clear this camera is, all of these things are stuff that you might want to be worried about. But overall, is the camera level? Is the camera looking directly at me as if I was having a conversation? And is it picking up a good video? Good videos for content require 3 very, very simple things, but I'm going to classify them in order from most important, in my opinion, to least important. So I think the most important thing for video that you're putting out content is the sound, right? Your video quality could be a little bad. Your light could even be bad. But when I'm listening to it, if it's really hard for me to listen to it, like your audio just it's not good. It's scratchy or it's echoey. These kind of things kind of create a separation between you and the person that is consuming your content. So you don't want to create that separation by having bad audio. So I think number one, your audio should be as good as you can make it. You don't have to start out from the top, because that's another thing that people get tied up in when it comes to doing content. They think they have to buy all this expensive gear, this expensive camera, and say, oh, well, once I get a good camera, then I'll start. No, start with the camera you have, but be confident in that camera by making sure you have all the things that go with it. You've heard lights, camera, action, but I'm going to say sound, light, and then the camera. So I said something about sound. You can get those little mics that you can clip onto yourself and hook to your phone. You can hook it to your computer. I'm actually using a ZV-1, which is a Sony. It's a small, kind of inexpensive point and shoot that's connected to my camera that I can use as a live stream camera, but it's not necessarily something that you have to buy. Next, we're going to light. Okay, so the light is important because I'll shine light on myself. It makes it easier for the camera to focus on me. It makes it easier for you to see me. I am the subject. Nothing behind me isn't really important. It's just kind of aesthetics at this point. You shouldn't have to, your background is not important. That's another thing people get caught up on. Oh, my background doesn't look good. And that's, yeah, you can clean it up a little bit, but simple is better. You see what's behind me? I got a picture. I got a little blanket ladder over there, and there's a little lamp. That's it. You don't need nothing else, because what I'm saying is more important than what's going on around me. And last but not least, the camera. Like I said, first thing that everybody has already is a cell phone. Now, if you're one of those people that have been holding on to your iPhone 10 or 11 or your iPhone 6 for a really long time, you might have a small barrier. Okay. But most of us kind of upgrade our phone over time. So the camera in your phone is perfectly fine for shooting content. You do not need to buy some ridiculously expensive camera to shoot content, because your message is more important than the visuals, because you're not shooting a TV show. And fun fact, there's a lot of shows that have been shot with an iPhone. Go check it out. It's true. So your sound is first, your light is second, and your camera is last. You got to have those things in that order for sure. Set up. Your sound needs to be good, because I need to be able to listen to you and not have a barrier. If you're sitting in the dark and I can't see you, that's a barrier to connection. And then you got to have a camera. I mean, you can't shoot a video if you don't have one. So that's that. Confidence in closing. So when we start talking, we find ourselves going on this rant or rambling on about something. And I think the best way to get around that is to just make a list of what you're talking about. And it doesn't need to be super long, because some people get hung up when it comes to a script. Even if you get ChatGPT to write you a script, you might not be the person to read a script. Not everybody is built to read a script. Okay. Some people do better off like freestyle. Some people do better thinking about things that they're saying and explaining those things. So if you create a way for you to clearly explain something, and you can do that from your head, do that and just work off of like bullet point notes. To me, that's my suggestion, because if you are a person that's like going to try to read a script and you get a card and you're like, so you da 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 da, and then you go to make your content. You try to repeat exactly what you wrote down. You're going to be working and you're going to get burned out, because you're tired of doing this thing over and over again. And every time you mess up, that's a confident hit. Your confidence is going to tell you, oh man, this is not for you. I don't know why you're trying to make videos. And then you're going to be fighting that. And that little anti-content demon in your head is going to be saying, yeah, this is not for you, man. Or you can just do this later. You're not in the right headspace. So know yourself. Know that you are the person that is going to use, you're going to use notes, or you're going to use a script, because it's just kind of what it is. So closing out your video, you need to have a closing point. You need to be ready to end it. You need to deliver your message and know when you're done with that message. So have your topic written down, have your bullet points written down, or use your script, and know when you're going to close your video, because you don't have the attention span for people all day. That's just not how it works. People don't sit and watch videos forever if they're not interesting. So know when you're going to close. Be confident in that point before you even start recording the video. Lastly is confidence in your CTA. CTA is call to action. You're not doing any videos. There is no such thing as a video without a call to action. Okay. You're doing this. This is social media marketing. All of these actions are for your business. So never, ever do a video without a call to action. Okay. So you're like, Shaka, not all videos need a call to action. They all do. I think they all do. If you're educating somebody on something, that education that you're offering, that free information that you're offering in the video, should lead them to something that you offer that is a paid option. That paid option should be available to that person immediately after you deliver the message about what you're talking about. If you're trying to set up somebody to look at a mortgage and see what they can afford for a home, your CTA should lead them to a mortgage calculator. If you are a hairstylist and you're telling somebody about a new way of, conditioning their hair overnight. That message should lead to either an appointment to come see you or a affiliate link to buy that product. Something. There should be a CTA for it because you shot that video for a business purpose. All of these social media marketing tactics and tools and you creating content is about the business in and of itself. If you are trying to be an influencer, this is still needed because you still want them to do something after they watch the video. Even if it's, hey, I talked about this time and we didn't have enough time to talk about that, but I have a video right here that you can go watch for that. And then whatever your CTA on that video is, then fine. They go ahead. They can take on and do that. But no video you create should be without a call to action. And being confident in how you're going to deliver that call to action makes sense. So if you need to have a link set up and that goes into the comment section in the beginning, then you're going to do that, or you're going to have it in the description, or you're going to have it on your homepage, whatever the case may be. Your call to action needs to ask people to do something because this is social media. That's the whole idea behind it. You as a business are coming to the people. The people are now receiving you, and you're going to take that reception and say, thank you guys. Let me offer you a little bit more, but I can't do it here. I got to do it outside of this. Thank you for watching. Come back to see some more, and so forth and so on. Well, that is what you're trying to do. You want to bring them from the piece of content that you made to something else. So let's recap. Confidence in your message. Your message is what you talk about every day. Don't change it up too crazy. Make it simple for people to understand when you're making content, because people's attention span, if you even made it to the end of this video, we're already at 17 minutes. Attention span is short. So make them understand what you're talking about. Make sure it's clear. Confidence in the camera. The confidence in the camera is literally making sure you have sound, lights, and the camera. And then look at the top of the camera to get the best eye-to-eye contact with you and your audience when you're recording, because looking at that little circle is sometimes intimidating and it's isolating. So just look just above the camera lens, and that should get you where you are with that. Confidence in your closing. Know when the video is over before you even start recording it, because you don't want to ramble off and be talking about this, that, and the third under the sun. You don't want to be saying and so and all of these different things. Know when you're going to close the video before you do it. And then lastly, confidence in your call to action. Every video that you ever create has a call to action. Know what that call to action is before you start the video. And that call to action should also be listed on your notes, wherever you keep them, your script, whatever the case may be. And from that point on, you'll just be able to deliver that call to action and go through that entire idea for your content and deliver it that way. Okay. So like I said, you need to have a call to action. So here, what I want you to do is, if you watch this video the entire way through, go ahead and comment below and talk about the things that keep you from creating content on a regular basis. We know it's hard. We know that it takes time, but you have to do it. We live in a world where social media is in the forefront of everything. So if you ever want to stand out on social media, you have to create some content. But if you need help with creating content and you need some coaching, you can always head in my direction. I run a business called Lifted Marketing Management, and what I do is I help small business owners with content. They need content to reach their customers. It doesn't matter which platform it's on. If I can't create it with you, I can definitely coach you on creating it yourself and do some consultation on the marketing concept for your business overall. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you can always go over to getlifted.com. That is GETLFTED. There's no I. Getlifted.com. And just go check out the website. Get around inside the website and see what you see. And, you know, if you feel like you want to reach out and get some help with content, or you just even want to just do a free marketing assessment, just sign up and I'm sure we'll connect soon. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. There is no edits. This is a 20-minute video with no edits, and I'm posting it everywhere. So if I can do it, you can do it. Point blank. All right. Next time. See you later. My name is Shaka, Lifted Marketing Management. Have a great day.